can literally do whatever it is you want to do. And for those women listening, there's two things you should be learning right now. You should be diving deep on AI and sales. Sales will not be replaced by AI, and that is a skill that will take you anywhere you want to go.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think at the end of the day, sales is relationship based. I mean, you can do all the operational stuff with AI. But when it comes down to actually selling and the art of the deal, I think that will never be able to be replaced.
7 years ago, when someone actually pointed out, you're really good at sales, you should actually be working in sales. But now I look back and I'm like, I've been selling my entire life. That's how I was able to get these opportunities. So my career has been anything but straight, but every single step has led me to where I am today, which is in my happy place.
Right. It might not have been a straight line, but it seemed intentional.
It was like every...
What would you tell your younger self? Looking back, what kind of advice would you tell her?
I wish I would have invested.
Through Linking Independent Women, it's a community where women can network and help each other and point each other in certain directions, give guidance, etc. So I hope to facilitate that.
If any woman is listening to this and wants to make a pivot, or you've recently been laid off and you want to find that next role faster, it is not going to be through spending time on applications. Like, jobs don't happen through applications, they happen through relationships. And that would be another piece of parting advice that I'd want to give to your audience.
I love that. Creating that for ourselves is super important for me. But what's next for you? What do you feel like you are intentional about right now?
Oh, that's a great question.
But anyway, going back to you and help me understand how you came up with that.
Yeah, so I have always, I'm not always the most intentional in the day-to-day life, but I've always been intentional that I would build a career around the life that I wanted to have. And I'll go back to my upbringing. Is I grew up in this refinery town. I saw things. I was an observer from the start. Intensely, you may not realize this, I was this very intensely shy child. And I'm actually very introverted, as much as it may surprise some people. But so I've always been an observer and knew that I wanted to, fly out of the nest, if you will, when the time would come. My father was a flawed man, but someone who I still miss and tremendously loved. And as a daughter, that's your first love. But he was an alcoholic. He worked nights at this refinery.
Okay.
He was also a chain smoker. It was a different time. And my father had lung cancer and passed away just less than 2 months after I turned 13 years old, which is a very pivotal age. And most people don't lose a parent until, anywhere between their 30s and early 50s. And he was diagnosed and then passed away within a 5-month time frame. So it was also very short, very fast. And this wasn't a time where you had therapy or mental health was discussed. We did not have therapy as a family. I also don't come from a family of college educated parents. Like, they were doing the best they could. My mom did the best she could. So I want to make that very clear. But I don't know how I came to this, but I knew that was one of the best gifts I could have ever been given. So it may, for some people, it may be odd to equate death with gifts, but
I
really, yes, I learned at a very young age that life is too damn short and that you only get one shot at this. And so then I built a career around where I wanted to go, which was out west. So my dad, even though we lived in Southern Illinois, we did not live on a farm. He did grow up on a farm. He wore cowboy boots. That was part of his attire. He always had a belt buckle on. He had turquoise. I still wear that to this day. It has a very high meaning for me. But he always had these I think it was Louis L'Amour was the author's name, these Western books all on a bookcase. And so I knew I wanted to, like, I just had this pull that I was meant for more than where I was born and that I was going to be out west. Like, that is the only certainty I've ever had in my life. And so I always went towards that direction. So after I graduated high school, I went to Illinois State University, and this is a state school. I went to where I could afford. And I think that's really important to talk about.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of women, and not even just women, a lot of people are in debt that they are swimming in because they chose to go to a university that they were able to pay for that network, and maybe they're benefiting from it. But I would say the large numbers suggest that they are not. And you don't have to go to a large university to achieve your goals, in my humble opinion. And you shouldn't go to one that you cannot afford and that you are going to be living with afterward. Now, I still had student loans, but I made it a priority to pay those off as soon as I could, and I paid those off. Um, so
That's
I know I'm rambling. This goes back into the rambling.
Let's just take a pause and let's celebrate that because that's huge.
Yeah,
That is huge.
yeah,
Thinking about the fact that one, your parents were not college educated, and the fact that you went to college. Not only did you go to college, you put yourself through college and then paid it off. That's generational change, and that should be every day celebrated, I think, because that is incredible.
thank you. And I will be very contrarian to say I don't even know if my daughter will go to school. And I don't know that I would recommend, high school graduates going to school now. I honestly think the work experience outweighs everything else. And I always loved school, but I look back and I actually just loved the learning, but I hated tests. I was never good at tests. I'm not good in real time. I'm not witty and quick. And I don't like the formatting that has, everything is always evolving and changing. And I feel like education is something that has not quite evolved
Yeah.
and or changed. So I graduated college in 3 years because I just wanted to get out. I wanted to get to the working world because I knew from a young age I had to make my own money to do anything in this life. Like, I had to get in the workforce. And that was right in the midst of the 2007, 2008 recession.
Yeah, yeah.
And in that recession, I was able to not only get a job in Colorado, but I was able to get them to fly me out to interview for said job in Colorado. And I had already been working, and I skipped this, I'm sorry, but I had been working in the city at Comcast Sportsnet Chicago, which was then turned into NBC Sports and now ceased to exist. But I turned my internship into a job, and then I turned my job into my westward dream. And I'm telling you that all leads into number three, which is sales. Now, it wasn't until, maybe 7 years ago when someone actually pointed out, you're really good at sales. You should actually be working in sales. But now I look back and I'm like, I've been selling my entire life. That's how I was able to get these opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, this person who was hiring for this job in Denver was in Chicago, and I said, give me 5 minutes of your time. I'm going to show you the business plan that I would put into place if I get this role. And so he took the time, he met with me. I came prepared with this like printed out business plan and went through it with him. But I say all those things because you can literally do whatever it is you want to do. And for those women listening, sales, if there's two things you should be learning right now. You should be diving deep on AI and sales.
Yeah.
Sales will not be replaced by AI, and that is a skill that will take you anywhere you want to go.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think at the end of the day, sales is relationship based. Whereas, I mean, you can do all the operational stuff with AI, right? But when it comes down to actually selling and the art of the deal, I think that will never be able to be replaced from a human.
No.
Yeah.
No, and if you look at my LinkedIn, which I'll get to where I went next. I have nothing, my career is like this, in different industries like this way, and it's all because of sales. So we spent, my husband and I, who was just my boyfriend at the time, and I convinced him, sold him to move with me.
That is
We,
amazing.
yeah, we were only there for about a year and a half. And my brother had been in the world of experiential marketing. And what experiential marketing is when you go to a festival and you see these branded clown car vehicles and big setups for one of your favorite brands, and they're handing out samples and what have you. That's experiential marketing. And they actually have tours where they pay people to drive those assets in that footprint. So the vehicle, the event build out, and they pay people to drive and then to train people, the brand ambassadors in that market that actually work the events. And my brother had been doing that with his wife for a while. And so I was able to convince Casey we should do this. Like, I did not grow up traveling and I want to see the world. But I want someone else to pay me to do that. So,
It's easier that way. It's
yes,
more fun.
yes. Exactly. So Casey was actually, he had a connection within experiential marketing, like one of the agencies, and was able to get in the door first and put like 4 months in. So we were 4 months long distance, but then that opened the door for us to negotiate as a team together. And we did that for 8 years. So
Wow. Okay.
I'll tell you a couple of reasons why that was pivotal.
Okay.
One, I got to go to every state in the United States except Alaska. That's the only one we have left.
Oh, wow. I love this.
Yes, we got to have all the hotel points. So then what we would do is once you make a name for yourself in this industry, you can pick and choose the contracts. So towards the later third part of our journey, like we were choosing that we only wanted to be on the Western US. We were choosing to only work 9 to 10 months out of the year and take the ski season off so we could ski. And you would work really hard. Like I want people to know, like, you're working long days on your feet. It's a very physical job, and you have to always be on. You're representing a large Fortune 500 company. But we were able to then use those points and cash in and cash them in and travel internationally in our off time too. But it was pivotal in so many ways because it put me in front of people every single day. And so you learn that rapport. And, I think kids should be always working in fast food as their first job if possible, or as a server. That's still, is so important. Two, like it once again reminds you what hard work actually looks like. Three, it helped me achieve a goal. Like, I got paid to travel, not versus spending my money to travel. And it was pivotal for us financially because for nearly 8 years, we did not have a home base. So we were getting paid to live in hotels. So we did not pay rent. We did not pay a mortgage for that entire time, or nearly that entire time. Towards the end, we did buy our first condo, but that provided us the ability to change our trajectory. Neither one of us are trust fund kids. We both come from the Midwest. Everything that we have is built by ourselves, and that changed it for us.
I love that. So you were able to save during that time for
Yes,
the home that you live in.
yes, yes,
Is it
yes.
that you live now?
No, so our first investment was a one-bedroom condo, which turned into we sold that for another investment and then sold that for this home that we have today. So that first investment set us up for where we are, and I think that's also an important thing to acknowledge. But anyway, we did that for 8 years, and then once you see the country, you know exactly where you want to live. And my heart was still in the West, and I said to my husband, like, life's too short. I learned this at a very young age. If we love Winter Park, Colorado, if that is our happy place, that's where we would spend our times escaping to when we lived in Denver, then let's do it. Like, let's make that our home. And so once we decided to hang up the suitcase and we wanted more stability, maybe a dog, maybe to see friends more regularly. And this is before remote work was more prevalent. Okay. I need everyone to understand this. This is
Yeah,
like pre-pandemic.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I was able to sell myself into our local ski resort, Winter Park Ski Resort, and get a job there and sold them on the fact that they should wait 6 months for me to finish up this tour until I got there. And so I finished up our tour and then I went straight into working at Winter Park Resort. And that gave us the ability to start building here full time in our favorite place. And then that led into another consultancy job, which then led me to Adobe. So my career has been anything but straight, but every single step has led me to where I am today, which is in my happy place, not a place where a job led me.
Right. But it might not have been a straight line, but it seemed intentional.
It was like I've always manifested a house, like, and I had this vision of, especially once we had a child, of her like picking wildflowers in our yard. And I'm from the Midwest. Yards are not as common here in the mountains. You can get like large acreage, but if you want to be like in close proximity, like we are inundated with condominiums around here. But we were able to make that vision come to life. And I think manifestation truly works. Like there's a sign in my office, you can't see it from here, but it says manifest it. And I really think if you feel, see, believe, you will achieve.
I love that. And I feel like, going back to your comment about, your dad passing away and that being a gift. And I think about the many gifts that you are now, that gift also has an impact on your daughter and has an impact on other people. And I see that as you're painting this picture, I see that along the way, just kind of woven in through your story. And it's
Thank you.
amazing. It's incredible. And so thinking about all of the things that you have, all the positions you've put yourself in intentionally, what would you tell your younger self? Looking back, what would you tell her? What kind of advice would you tell her, or would it be advice?
Oh God, I wish I would have invested much earlier and wrapped my head around money at a much younger age. I would say I've only really done that in the last 5 to 8 years. And that's probably one of my biggest regrets. I try not to regret anything.
Yeah.
But that is something that could have set me up. What I'm chasing now, I've always been chasing like the next thing, and what I'm chasing now is freedom, or the ability to manage my own time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I wish had I invested at a younger age, wow, the returns now would have been incredible. So I wish I would have known the value of a dollar at a much younger age. I feel like I didn't establish like an executive presence until later on. I feel like I have always been confident, but only to an extent. And I do feel like everyone has limiting beliefs. It's just to what extent. And I feel as if I wish I would have knocked down some of these limiting beliefs at a much earlier age. But you know what? Like, it's never too late. Like, you and I have both seen the stats about, first time entrepreneur average age for women is like 42. So life's not over. I'm still learning.
No, and you have such a wonderful road ahead. I see that gift continuing to be given to you throughout your journey. And it's just incredible to me that it was given to you at such a young age by your dad
Yeah.
and by those circumstances and those life experiences. And so, as I'm also thinking about you, and I know a lot about you because I've had a lot of interactions with you through the Global Women's Leadership Program at Adobe that you led. Um, I, 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 you're big on stats. You are so good at bringing the numbers, and
No.
it's super helpful. So if you were to, for women, what is a number that you want women to know? Like what is a stat that you feel
Oh,
I'm
this
putting you on
probably
the spot?
plays into your, yeah, this probably, there's probably two things. Um, well, there's like a lot of things I feel like, and I don't have all the numbers in front of me, so I'll go with what I can state right now. And one, I don't know the numbers, but I'll infer, and it goes back to your last question actually, and that would go into reproductivity. So I would say to all the women listening, I had my first child at 35 with no challenges, no obstacles. It was a beautiful pregnancy. I was active the entire time. But it really stings when people ask at 40 years old, just the one, because it's not by choice. I've went through several losses, and Emma Greed, who just came out with a new book, it starts with you. I think that's the name. Sorry if I said that wrong, but she has a great podcast, the Aspire with Emma Greed podcast. But she said it best: is IVF is a privilege. It's not a plan. And this kind of goes into the last question and this question, but I would like for women to know who are career driven, that it does get harder as you get older, and you will have to rely on science to help you, and that is also not a guarantee. So even freezing your eggs doesn't mean that your body's going to be able to carry said child. So there are multiple statistics on how hard it is. Even if you're lucky to get pregnant at my age, your risk of miscarriage is 40 to 50%. It's very high. So just know if you do wait, you are going to have heartbreak alongside that journey. The other stat I would mention is that I think a lot of people, there's a lot of layoffs happening right now. And never once that, like, there's very few jobs in my journey where I actually applied to the role and that's it. I think it is statistically true that
Yeah.
80% of jobs are already filled or have someone in mind for before they're ever posted.
Yeah.
So if any woman is listening to this and wants to make a pivot, or you've recently been laid off and you want to find that next role faster, it is not going to be through spending time on applications. Like, jobs don't happen through applications, they happen through relationships. And that would be another piece of parting advice that I'd want to give to your audience.
I love that. I I love it. I feel like, you know, I had a relationship through Adobe to get to the conversations I had at Adobe, and I feel like through Linking Independent Women, it's a community where women can network and help each other and point each other in certain directions, give guidance, etc. So I hope to facilitate that. It makes
Absolutely.
it a little bit easier for women to network because we haven't always been great at networking. We've not been invited to the bro club or the golf outing,
Great club.
you know what I mean? So just creating that for ourselves is super important for me. But what's next for you? What do you feel like you are intentional about right now?
Oh, that's a great question. I always say my corporate job still always comes first, and obviously my family comes first. But when it comes to business and a career, and you know, two pieces of advice I'd also give is, a lot of people come up like want to have coffee chats, like, how did you pivot? How did
Mhm.
you do this X, Y, and Z? And I my piece of advice that I always say is, like, work your ass off and blow your current job out of the water. If you
Mm,
are the best at what you currently do, the floodgates will open.
mhm.
Like, every opportunity and promotion or pivot I've been offered at Adobe is because I did my job the very best to my ability. And I
Yeah.
think everyone should do that. Um, Second would be that the career advice no one will tell you is don't follow the title, follow
Mm-hmm.
your curiosity. Because if you are curious, you will be passionate about what you do, and you will be the best at what you do if you follow that versus the title. And honestly, titles should be the last thing you follow. You should follow the money and your curiosity. But what I am, I guess, like where I'm focused right now is, being a good mom.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm still failing at is putting my health first. I used to be an endurance athlete. Like I loved running and trail running. I still ski, obviously, but I've really put that on the back burner for a while. And that really goes into your conversation about sacrifices.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes my career and business is going to be number one, and
Mm-hmm.
everything else will fall below that. And sometimes health is going to be number one, but really that should be number one like all the time. And that's obvious for a lot of people, but it's not for me. And I think it's not for a lot of women that tend to put themselves last. So, getting my health in check is number one, my health and fitness, and learning. Like, I'm a lifelong learner, and we're at such an inflection point right now with AI that not only do I want to be the best at my job, but like with these tools, you can blow everyone else out of the water and have more time in your day and
Yeah.
start like other things on the side, like you're doing with linking independent women. And I'd like to explore more of that, whether it's founding something or diving into angel investing or entrepreneurship or content creation. Like these are areas of exploration for me because I do think the future is not going to be linear. I don't think you are going to have one corporate job. Like I actually think a lot of people will be stringing together multiple jobs, just based on where technology will lead us and also based on what people are demanding for their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, and I'll stop rambling, this is my problem, you see, um,
Yeah.
is that for women to change how we're operating today, we are working in a system that was built by men
Mm-hmm.
for men, established by them, and still to this day is built to support them and not us. And for us to change it, we either need more women to break through that mid management ceiling,
Yeah.
or we need more women to found companies and completely rewrite the script. And honestly, I'm really excited about that because I do believe this technology is going to give women the ability to do just that, to rewrite the scripts and be able to stay home with their children, but also manage a business or provide an income to support them along the way.
I love that. And we're here for you. Linking
Thank you.
Independent Women is here for you. And can I just say something that has come to mind for me? I I have heard this phrase several times in my life, growing up playing volleyball, but also in business, is be so good, be so effing good, they cannot ignore you.
Yeah.
I do feel like you epitomize that. You
No,
really do.
stop.
You do. You do. I mean, you work hard, but you're very intentional. And I
Thank you.
appreciate that. Um,
Thank you.
you're inspiring a lot of women at Adobe, and now
As
you're
are you.
inspiring a lot of women around the world. So,
As are you. And I'll just say one last parting
yeah,
thing
yes, yes.
is that what you just said, I feel like I have always been wired in this way. My mind, it's really hard to shut off. I have trouble sleeping because of that sometimes. And for a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. Like there's mom guilt. People would be like, why can't you just be happy? Why
Yes.
can't you just
Yes. Can you be
be,
satisfied?
yes, why can't you just be like calm and chill and I have thought that for a really long time, and just in the last, like, maybe it's turning 40, I think it makes you reflect. But I'm done with apologizing for how I am, how I'm built. And so for any woman that is ambitious, it is not an ugly word. It is not a negative connotation. Lead into it and be your fucking rock star that you want to be. There's nothing wrong with it. And in fact, we need more of it.
Thank you for being so authentic. And this is why I love you.
For you, girl, you inspire me so much. And I cannot wait to listen to all of these podcasts and all the stories of all these amazing women, because you're absolutely right. Every person's story matters, and everyone has something that you can learn from. Every single person, no matter where they sit in society, everyone has something to teach. And I can't wait to learn from all the women you have on this podcast.
Well, thank you so much. And I look forward to hearing about all of the intentional moments that you are creating for yourself and where that leads you. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.